Hey, I'm Kendall Norman. You're watching Dirt Live.
Hey, we're back with Johnny Campbell. Johnny, welcome back, man. You just got back from Dakar.
Yeah, thanks, George. It's great to be here.
Well, you know, we got a lot of questions for you tonight, and one of the biggest questions would be, how was Dakar? What an awesome place over there.
Yeah, Dakar is it's a huge event. I mean, there's a lot of people following it live. You know, down in South America, you have over 4 million just live impressions over the 2 weeks of being there, amongst all the people in the world, just checking it on the internet and TV, and it's really exciting.
Now, you know, a lot of people out there probably thought, hey, Johnny Campbell's first time Dakar. You know, I know you went to Monaco before that to do a little test on the Honda, but let's talk a little bit about your history at this. This isn't the first time.
Yeah, no, I was introduced to rally racing in the early mid-90s. We actually had one here in the States called the Nevada Rally. Franco at Shelby's, a good friend, started that event, and it ran for 3 years. And I was able to participate in that on Honda in '94. Got my feet wet, got lost a lot, and then I came back and studied and won in '95.
Well, let's talk about what the year before that. What you kind of learned a little more. Tell the story. I know the story about you following the leader, and he tried to kind of give you the wrong line.
Yeah, you know, a young Johnny Campbell, just trying to make a name in the off-road world. You know, I had a lot of speed and raw talent, but I didn't have any navigational skills. And in the rally, that's what's really different than the racing here or in Baja, is that, you know, we go off a roll chart and a GPS, but not like the GPS that we use with a track log. You know, it just shows a cap heading, not a track. But back then in the 90s, it was just all road book. And so we had to learn that. And you know, it was a French game. And we had to figure out how to do all that and study and stuff. And we actually went out, after I got lost and confused in '94 by a savvy Frenchman named Olivier. The next year, you know, our boss, Bruce, he made us go out and make our own rallies. And so each week we went and did our own rallies. And part of the drill of actually making a road book helped you with learning the navigation and then actually participating in each other's rallies. We got very good at navigating off a road book. So in '95, it was, you know, almost easy to win.
Now, you think that would help in Baja at all? Have you ever thought about maybe a road book in Baja?
A road book in Baja would be a blast. You know, I really like and enjoy the navigation aspect of rally racing, but it's two different type of animals. You know, Baja racing is based off of pre-running and homework and following a route that you were able to study or pre-run, and you know, rally racing isn't. And so it depends on which direction we want to go with it. You know, I think traditionally we want to keep the Baja 1000, you know, and keep rally racing.
Well, I know up and down Baja, you're a legend. You know, everywhere you go, your pictures are everywhere. The kids go crazy. How was it in Dakar? Was it kind of a new thing to people jumping up and down, and crowds were everywhere?
Yeah, you know, there's a lot of activity down there, and in South America, actually, you know, the economics for motorcycle sales and stuff is very good. And so you get, you know, there's people that actually knew who I was down there just based upon some of my history here in Baja and the States and stuff. But the people are just really enthusiastic. I mean, even in Baja the same way, but here there's just so many people, and we go through different countries, and it's truly an amazing event.
Well, you know, Johnny, you lost your dad at a young age. What he really inspired you to be where you are today?
Yeah, you know, my dad was a big inspiration in my life. Introduced me to motorcycles at a young age, and you know, he rode at, you know, like at an amateur level and stuff. And but when I was 16, he suddenly passed away, and you know, I went on and had a lot of ambition and drive to you know, become a professional motorcycle racer, and so fortunately some doors opened, and got a lucky break here and there and worked hard.
And if you want to see it, True Champion, definitely a great DVD, tells your whole story. Pretty cool.
Yeah, we built a life documentary, or kind of a career documentary, a few years back, and it's called True Champion, and it was, brought me through my childhood and my dad's death, and what really inspired me, and how I was able to overcome a lot of obstacles in life to win a bunch of races.
Now let's go back to Baja. We get out of Dakar. What's your favorite place to ride in down in Baja? Your favorite?
Really, George, I love all Baja. I like. I don't even mind riding through the whoops in San Felipe. But you can ask me again in about a month once I go pre-run, and I'm hating it. But I really enjoy being on the Pacific side, racing down the beach. I enjoy being on the Gulf side where it's warmer and it's totally blue along the Sierra Cortez. I enjoy going fast on a motorcycle, sliding dirt roads, and so all Baja is great to me. As long as I don't have to be behind my desk, punching the keyboard, Baja is awesome.
Now we got a lot of people out there watching, and maybe their first time they're thinking about racing San Felipe, the 500, 1,000. What? Give them some advice. These new guys.
Well, I think the very best thing you could do is do your homework, do your research on the race, and call JCR, and we can walk you through any questions you have, or any veteran of the sport. I think the more knowledge you gain and homework that you do, the better preparation that you do for your race, the more successful it's going to be, no matter what level you're at.
Now, you've had so many victories. I mean, 11 time, yourself. Then you count the rest of your guys. You got 16, championships. What is your most memorable? You probably got a few, but let's take the biggest one.
I'd have to say, kind of some of the pinnacle of my career was like the Baja 2000. Finishing that in Cabo. A day and a half later after you started. And I got to say, all those victories that I've been part of isn't just me. I've been a part of a lot of victories for Honda and stuff, but it takes a team, it takes good partners, and Hengeveld rode a lot with me, and we won a lot of races, and the credit goes to all the volunteer pit crew and Bruce Ogilvie, my mentor, and it takes a big team to win those races, and it's not just you.
And you offer those pits too for everybody. So these new guys that are watching out there, you help them out.
Yeah, one thing to get started down in Baja racing dirt bikes is if you ride a Honda motorcycle, JCR offers a pit service. So you can call us up or sign up online, and we'll guide you through how to go race in Baja and use our pit service. And we supply fuel and emergency spare parts and wheels at each location. And our team's history goes back all the way to the 70s with the Honda pit service, and I've been in charge of it for the last 5 years. And so it's a great experience, and it's a great way to get started in Baja.
Well, we've got a question. 2013, you were 2012 with Timmy Wiegand, Dave Campbell, and we had Colin on here last week. So what's going on for JCR? Let's let the people know for 2013.
Well, our main focus, is Baja. We race to win the Baja 1000. That's the way our program has always been, and it's no different this year. And so with Timmy and Colton as my main riders, and we'll bring Dave on as a third rider when we need to. It's a challenging time out there economically, and budgets are really tight, and it's no different in our team. It's pretty tough, and so we got to just kind of monitor ourselves well during the year so that we can go and have a really good effort at the 1,000 and win.
Now, what do you think, the last week's show, and we've been talking about this possibility of racing the motorcycles on Friday if we get some TV coverage. What do you think about it, Johnny?
Well, kind of step back a little bit. You know, I'm really excited that Roger Norman has taken over SCORE, and you know, Sal and his crew did a great job for a long time, and has a wonderful legacy. And but I'm really excited for change, because change brings a lot of excitement, because there's unknown and stuff. And so I think Roger has a lot of great ideas, and it's going to help elevate the sport and where it needs to go. And you know, some ideas like racing bikes on different days is topics that you know, we still need to discuss, and you know, on how the tradition of Baja is. And you know, I'm not completely settled that that's the right direction to go, but I'm not saying that it's not the right way to go. So I'm excited to kind of chew on it some more and see if it's a good path.
Well, I know you had some discussions with Roger, and anything that you've thought about since, you know, maybe people watching out there right now, I mean, could give us a little insight on what, maybe you got some other ideas you could, you know, help us out.
Yeah, I think, you know, Roger's really big on safety, and he's experienced some things in Baja that, you know, some of the truck guys have with motorcycles coming up on them. And I think that with his experience, it's going to help evolve the sport to make it safer. And that's what's, you know, that's what I'm looking forward to, because that's going to help further progress our sport. And I want to see, you know, I want to see the sport live. That's why I do it, and it's our livelihood.
Well, Scotty B, you know, took care of you in Dakar. You know, Scotty B's listening out there. Give a shout out to Scotty Broman. Yeah. He asked, you know, about the Sentinel system. Let's talk a little bit. Could that be used for Baja?
The Sentinel system is an interesting system. Basically, what it is, for the viewers that don't know, is it's an alarm system to where if there's a vehicle approaching you from behind, it can you can push a button and it sounds a siren off on a vehicle ahead of you. So it gives the guy a warning, and say he's on a bike, that okay, there's a vehicle approaching, I need to move over, or I need to, you know, start looking for a way to get out of the way, because this guy's coming up on me pretty fast. It works really slick. I mean, in 2012, I navigated for Robby Gordon in the Hummer, and so I was the man operating the button, and it worked really well. You know, we'd be approaching a bike or a quad or a slower vehicle, and you know, they most of the time they'd move out of the way, and so it worked real well that way. I don't know about the complexity of the system and what it entails as far as power and what you need on the bike to do that, and so that may be some technical challenges that the Baja bikes have that the Dakar bikes, you know, have already progressed to. But as far as the safety of it goes, it does work. I've been in the situation.
Now, here a question also from Scotty B, and even our crew came up with this: the highs and the lows in Dakar. I mean, there was days, you know, probably you were way up. Next day, some lows. Talk about that.
Yeah, you know, my ride this year in Dakar was really, I felt like inconsistent for a Johnny Campbell ride. You know, in my career, I was always really consistent and stuff, and so I had some ups and downs. And being with a new bike and a real young team at HRC, you know, we had some issues. You know, I had a fuel issue one day, and I had to sit out in the desert until some parts arrived from another race vehicle, and you know, so there I go. I'm finishing 150th that day, but you know, but trying to keep the bike going the whole time is the important part for our team, was to get all those bikes to the finish. So you know, when you break down, it's a bummer, it's a low, but at the same time you're learning, you know, and so you got to take the positive out of that and use that for progress and success the next time you race. I guess some of the highs was, you know, I guess I lucked into a second place in one of the stages. It was kind of a long story, but it's a fun story. We started the day before on a marathon stage, and the marathon stage is when the bikes don't see the support trucks that evening, and so you have to service your bike or whatever on your own. So my job that day was to save my rear tire, so Helder can have it for the next day, our top rider. And so I did that, and I had some oil problems with my bike, and I was having to stop, and so I had kind of a poor finish that day. Well, the very next day, we'd have a long liaison, and I got to the starting line, and Helder was like, "Hey, I need your switch off your bike for my road book because my switch is broke." I'm like, "Okay, no problem. It's my job." I was the water boy to, help him be successful. So I, gave him my switch, and we fixed it, and his tools were all over the ground, and so he took off at the starting line, and so I gathered up all the stuff and had oil and tools and everything on me, and no road book switch, so I had to adjust my road book manually while I rode, and I had a bald rear tire, and so I took off on the stage. I started like 70th, and the stage was raining, it was wet, there was lightning, and it was kind of crazy. We're going up these riverbeds and stuff, and there's tracks everywhere, and I'm just trying to navigate and, miss flash floods and stuff, but I felt like I was just riding pretty normal and my pace, and pretty soon I came up this riverbed, and then Cyril Dupree's coming backwards at me, and I knew, I had a hunch the course was supposed to jump out and go to the right, and I saw where I thought it might be, but my mileage was a little crooked, so I went up a little ways, and I didn't see the right trail, so I returned, and Cyril had gotten on the right path and went, but I'm like, I started 70th that day. Cyril's, and he started in the top 10. I shouldn't be seeing him. So anyway, I got going on the right way, and when I got to the finish, I was like 20th bike to the finish, but second on time. So what happened is all the fast guys got themselves mixed up and lost, and I just was pretty correct with my navigation that day, and had a great finish. So had the highest finish for a stage on our team, when the water boy was just supposed to be, waiting up for the fast guys and letting them go. But, manually adjusting my road book with one hand and bald tire. But it was a good time, it was great, and it was a fun story.
Well, one question also, did Robby ever help you drop off some parts one day?
Yeah, that when I had that fuel pump issue that day, and I waited out in the desert, I was able to make a call to our support people, and I'm just like, I need a fuel pump or an ECU or whatever, the bike's hesitating, give it to Robby Gordon, and have him drop it off on his way by. Even though I had to wait for him quite a while, because they started a while after the bikes, it was the fastest way I knew I could get parts, and so we made that happen. It was pretty cool because Rob just come barreling down, and he was just about to overtake somebody, and he knew, Colin, his navigator, knew about the mileage I was at, and I was waving a yellow flag, and I thought they were going to blow by me, and I wasn't going to get it, but he spun a big old donut and came back and, stopped for a millisecond, and Colin held out the parts, and I grabbed the parts, and they took off, and I fixed the bike and kept going. So
pretty cool. Robby kind of helped you out, for what you did for him last year, the year before that.
Yeah, Robby and I are friends, and if we can help each other, we will, and it's a good time.
Well, I hear you, Cyril Dupree. There's a rumor he could be going to Honda.
I heard that rumor too, but man, I don't know. There's no truth, no rhyme, no rhythm to it. It's just all rumor at this point in the game.
Now, what experience? Now you spent 15 days there riding, can help bring the experience to Baja. What did you bring from Dakar that could help you in Baja? My position in Baja now is not being the racer per se, but I manage the Honda off-road racing team, and so every bit of knowledge and experience you gain from being out there in the desert and seeing how other teams operate and stuff, you absorb that, and then it's experience. And any particular one thing I can't pinpoint, but I know that our team itself made a lot of progress and success down there, just learning the elements of that race and how big it is, and how and I think for myself, managing the team and the riders and stuff, I gained a lot just to be able to be more organized and step up my game, because I know the competition's coming for us, and we need to. Now, would you ever race again? I know you're always suited up, you know, at the races, so just in case you have to jump on board. But do you think about maybe over 30, 40 class, maybe try that?
You know, not really. You know, I've raced at the highest level in Baja and won and accomplished my goals. And, you know, my best asset for a winning program is not on the bike anymore. You know, I'm almost 42 years old. I know my limitations. It's better that I'm the mentor and I'm coaching the younger guys on how to do it right and how to win races. You know, if I got to get on the bike for an emergency, I can do that. But, you know, as far as me competing against 25-year-olds and guys that have great eyesight and are very hungry and eager and don't mind taking the huge risk, you know, I don't need to be out there with those guys. I need to be pointing the finger and telling guys what to do.
Well, speaking of young riders, your young boy, how's he doing? Is he the next Johnny Campbell?
Yeah, Preston, he has a big passion for dirt bikes, and he's having a good time on his 150, his CRF 150R, and you know, if he wants to go race, then I'll support him. But you know, if I can swim away from being a professional racer, I probably will.
Well, tacos. We've been asking everybody on the show. You're all over Baja, so you got to know where the best place is.
There's a lot of good places in Baja, especially after being in South America and you're eating bivouac food every night and stuff, and you're going, man, I miss Mexican food. I miss it. And so to me, there's not any one particular place that I'm stuck to in Baja, but man, anywhere from La Paz to Cabo to Mama Espinosa's, you know, I'm all about the tacos and the fish tacos and the lobster, and you know, the Europeans and the South Americans don't know what they're missing if they don't come to Baja.
Exactly. Well, Johnny, it's been a pleasure to have you on here. You're a legend, you know, incredible. The wins you have representing the United States in Dakar, and we're just proud to have you here, man. It's been great to be on Dirt Live with Johnny Campbell. We got some photos coming up. The second photo of the night, Juan Rodriguez, and you've been through that a lot, right, Johnny? In the silt beds with Juan Rodriguez, and really showing you what it's all about. Well, when we come back from this commercial, we'll be joined live with Justin Davis.